Welcome back to the third annual Dyspraxia DCD America Radiothon here. What a proud day for me, my beautiful wife Danielle, and my son Gabriel, who just turned 16 not that long ago. And I believe my son was a little over 3 when we took him to Miami Children's Hospital. We were living in Boca at the time. And he was diagnosed with dyspraxia. And he has gone on to do things that the doctor said he would never do. The doctor said to me, he actually said to me, here's the good news. I know what Gabe has. He'll walk, he'll be fine. He wasn't walking at the time. He said, but he'll never lead the league in scoring. He'll never hit 300. Now he plays on his high school basketball team, and he just played the whole summer at the St. Francis Summer Classic basketball program. He has defied all the odds, my son. But maybe not. Maybe there are more dyspraxics around the world that can do the same thing. Dr. Priscila Tamplain joins me every year on this Radiothon. She was with me last year. She's back. Dr. Priscila, how are you?
Hi, Sid. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you, and I look forward to meeting you in a couple of weeks. You'll be here. Danielle has put together this amazing conference at Hofstra University. First time ever for dyspraxia. Dr. Robert Gluck helping us out. But I told that story just now, Dr. Priscila, about my son able to play sports, and not just play sports, but he's actually a pretty good basketball player. When the doctor told us as a baby that would be virtually impossible. Are you surprised to hear that?
So, no, I'm not surprised at all because I know Danielle and you, and I think that's a testimony of what a lot of parents' work and dedication and intervention can do. Unfortunately, a lot of kids don't have that opportunity, right? So I do think that when they have the opportunity, when there's early detection, early intervention, when there's awareness and understanding of the condition, then those things are possible, and they are amazing. What a great story to hear, right? That he was able to beat the odds, and not only because of that, but we know how important it is to be engaged in movement, to play sports, to have that team. And, I think you can talk more than I can about the importance of being part of this team, right, and playing a game at his age.
It is really important. And, now he's a big sports fan, my son. He follows all the sports. But in terms of participation, he's become very, very good at basketball. But when you talk about early intervention, early detection, and I remember those days. I know it's going back 13 years ago. I can't believe my little boy is already 16 years old. But I remember the PT sessions. I remember Dr. Tamplain. We'd have a girl come to the house in Boca. She'd ring the doorbell. My son was upstairs. He was a baby. He knew it was her. I don't know. He had like this unbelievable intuition. And he started to scream and cry. He didn't want to do it. But some of the things that Danielle did with Gabriel as a youngster certainly helped him, especially with walking and becoming a ball player down the road. If we didn't know that at the age of 3, those things would have taken longer to happen. He wouldn't be where he is today. That is the importance of early intervention and early detection, yes?
Yes, absolutely. So the brain is really much more resilient in plastic before age 5, and the earlier the better. So the fact that this was that some difficulties, right, were found out at about age 3, and then just getting intervention in, which is not easy. You mentioned that Gabriel was not super happy about that. It is a little bit of work and practice, but that work can stimulate the brain. So movement that may not have been possible can happen. And that is the most important thing. That's why we advocate so much for awareness of dyspraxia, also known as developmental cognition disorder, or even motor challenges in general in children. Most medical professionals tend to maybe look at this as, oh, it's just a delay. They'll catch up. It's fine. It's, and we, on the research side, we tend to look at it a little bit differently, because if we miss that window, we're never going to get it back. We can have improvements later on, but definitely not at the same rate, maybe not to the highest potential. So it is really important to detect and then work with the team to promote intervention. It's the physical therapist. And then what you mentioned makes a lot of sense to me, that the parents are also at home really focusing on this and making this a priority for the family, right? Promoting movement, stimulating the child, not going to them all the time, letting them come to you, letting them crawl, walk, and making the effort. I am absolutely convinced that if this had not happened, Gabriel would not be playing at a basketball team now, and he would not have all the confidence, right, and the participation levels, all the self-esteem that comes from being in that team. So it's all a very important loop, and it starts with early detection. It starts with parents maybe noticing that something is a little different. They're not able to do what maybe their siblings were able to do, other kids, and then maybe going to a pediatrician and saying, look, this is not, I don't know what it is. That's usually how it goes, but I see a delay. What can I do? Can you help me here? And doctors really taking that very seriously, making the appropriate referrals and acting as soon as possible.
This is Dr. Priscila Tamplain. You're great, by the way. You're not good. You're great. I remember when we started this, and Danielle's already done most of the work. I have some rich friends asking for money now and then. That's all I do, you know. But she's the one who's done all the research. She got in touch with people like you and other wonderful people, and she really puts her heart and soul into this, which is not difficult because we love Gabriel so much. But when we started this thing, Doc, no one ever heard of this. It was like autism, right? No, not autism, dyspraxia. Well, what is it? Mm-hmm. And then when you do your research, which you know better than anybody, you find out that 1 of every 20 people, that's a lot of people. That's millions of people. 1 of every 20 will be diagnosed with dyspraxia. Let me tell you something, Doc. I got it, okay? When I was a kid, they know about dyspraxia. I couldn't tie my shoelaces. I could barely run without the back of my feet kicking myself in the butt. All the things that I see with dyspraxics and some of my son's stuff, I had it too when I was a kid. I'm convinced I've got it. But it does seem like now more and more people know about it, are talking about it. And to me, that's a very, very big thing.
Yes, I agree with you. I think that's, and it's important to mention, I'm glad you mentioned autism. Just so for us to compare a little bit, dyspraxia or DCD is about 3 times more common than autism. But if you ask around, people will generally know what autism is, but will never have heard of dyspraxia, right? Yeah. And that is conflicting if you look at the stats and the prevalence. So that's very true. Things have improved, but I think we still have a lot of work to do to improve awareness, understanding, and then bringing that to professionals and families. And that is the work that the Dyspraxia DCD America Foundation that Danielle and your family started is doing now. And I'm very happy to support that effort because I'm doing research in the field, but without the community support and without professionals understanding that, making the diagnosis, referring for intervention, following up, families understanding the importance of this, especially in the future. It's very difficult to do research, but I do think that looking at a child's trajectory when they have all the support and when they don't, those can be very different, right? So the goal here, the goal with this program now and with fundraising and the foundation is to really make sure that every child, every family has access to that diagnostic process. They have access to the information that they need, and then they have access to intervention, right? So the trajectory of the child can really change, and in the future they can be, just like you told me, I had this, but now it's fine, right? It is. I got over that, and right. That's our goal.
Well, you guys are doing a great job getting to that goal. I want to thank you for hopping on today. Every year you do a great job with me. I'm really excited to meet you coming up in a couple of weeks here in New York in Hofstra. Thank you for all the hard work you do with Dyspraxia, and thank you so much for helping out me, Danielle, Ava, and Gabriel. We love you, Doc. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
We'll see you soon. Dr. Priscila Tamplain right there, and we will take a short break. More of the 2024 Radiothon for Dyspraxia DCD America right here on Sid and Friends in the Morning.